let's learn how to say sorry. It doesn't cost you anything. When you are the parent and you are wrong and you are still expecting your child to come and say sorry, it's cheating. You don't need to cheat them. You don't need to cheat them because you are their parent. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If this is your first time, you are welcome to the happy family. If you have been watching but you're still contemplating whether you want to subscribe or not, what are you waiting for? Please click the subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I upload a video. Today I quickly want to discuss something that a lot of people has always asked my opinion about, and today I saw it on the blog and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's high time I just talk about this whole thing. So many people knows how I feel about this, and it's about a man that said that there's no way he's ever going to forgive a parent that doesn't act their age. Maybe they are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, that they are no kids. How should they forgive the person? And when I saw this, a lot of people were saying that the Bible says honor your father and your mother. But I believe that this man has a reason for saying what he said. I think he's a reporter or something, and a lot of people were actually saying that, oh, he's wrong for saying that, and some people were saying that if you are in a position that this man has been, maybe you're going to think differently. Well, when I saw that, I'm thinking, what could have caused him to actually come on social media and vent about this? Then I went on his page, then eventually I located the tweet that made him come out to say this. And in the tweet there was this Andrew Salih Sulaiman, and this person said that forgive your parents, most especially your father, pray for them. And a lot of people were commenting under this post. Someone said, to be honest, I can't forgive my dad. We've not spoken in over a year now. Left home and I'm never going back. Another person said that, same goes with me. My father who abandoned me since I was born for no reason, locked me up in a cell, all because I was trying to call him back in order for the malicious issue he been having with my mom for years. And he also refused me freedom into the house. He hates me so much. And someone said, oh, let's go and forgive him. It's not easy, but you can try. And he said he's begged him so many times, but he seems not to need him anymore. He got money, so he feel of no use to him. The last I begged him arrived me in police cell. I'm definitely apologizing. I'm apologizing to him for he wrongs though. So you know, there's a lot of comments like that. A lot of people were saying that I don't think I'll ever forgive him. I tried to several times, but he still does things to freshen the wounds. I've not spoken to him for over 2 years. And a lot of comments, I'm telling you, I'm going to try and put a few snapshots of things that I saw, and I'm like, this is real. This is actually real. So eventually I got to the message of this man, David Undein, a reporter, and he said that he responded to that message and said, hello hell, they are not kids, they are adults in their 50s, 60s and 70s who insist on acting like spoiled, mannerless, loose-tongued brats at their age and often spend their whole lives bullying and abusing us psychologically. We don't owe them anything. They will be alright. David Undein now narrated his ordeal with his dad. He said, my dad was gasping his last breath on his bed in the room that used to be mine when I was growing up. One woman was more concerned with telling me, Shebi, this is what you wanted, instead of trying to get an ambulance. Point scoring, saving your husband of 37 years life. In the name of point scoring, because of one stupid American religion, this person kept me away from my dad's funeral preparation. She couldn't even access his fund, but she preferred to keep me away than have me around to sort things out. I should now forgive her. This person connived with the quack lawyer to have a dodgy document dated May 2003, which they claim was my dad's will, read out in my absence, even though I live 10 minutes away. Shock, surprise, they supposed we vested everything in her as if I cared. Didn't even put a headstone on the man's grave, and somehow it's always my duty to forgive an abominable human being. According to every unsolicited peacemaker who wades in, forgiveness is a sin. So when I read this, I was like, ouch, this is a lot of built-in anger, and it's so unfortunate that his dad died without correcting all of these. And when he was talking about this whole thing, I'm not sure whether it was his mom or his stepmom. It sounds like a stepmom to me, because he has this thing in his heart to the extent that he can't even mention who the person is, but you can tell that that's the dad's wife. They married for 37 years. The way he was saying it sounds like a stepmom to me, but if it's the mom, I won't be surprised, because obviously the mom has stood by the dad in all the mistakes the dad made. Maybe the mom didn't correct him or tell him that, no, this is wrong, sweetheart. You can't teach your child like this. You can't do this to your child. It's a lot of anger, it's a lot of anger, and terrible things must have happened to this man. And that is what I always say. A lot of men out there, you just see them married and they started treating their wives wrongly, or their wife is being the boss over them. It's basically because they were not well trained. It's basically from their upbringing, and if they don't have the strength to train themselves and look at the mistakes of their dad and correct that in their own behavior, how not to be exactly like their dad, they can become a very good man in the process. And someone's commented after that, and this person said that this forgiveness mentality has many eating crumbs from the same leaders that place them in misery, cause we're supposed to forgive mommy and daddy, abi, no matter their actions. Leave everything to God. Why they make life hell? It begins at home. Between pastor no they forgive who no pay. Someone was asking him and said that the last part, forgiveness is a sin, is according to which book? And he responded and said that forgiving people who do not deserve or ask for it is simply an invitation for them to do worse. Hence, it is a sin. I don't know what happened between him or an parent, whatever might have happened, but the last part where he said that forgiving people that doesn't deserve it or doesn't even ask for that forgiveness, is easy to forgive someone that don't deserve it, because after all, when they ask Jesus, how many times can I forgive someone, he said 7 times, 77 times. It's good to forgive, but I think what I always tell people is that just keep your space, make sure you give them space so that they won't have the opportunity to do this thing again to you. And that's why I said I support what he said to that person when the person asked that forgiveness is a sin, which book does it get it from? And he basically explained that people that don't deserve forgiveness or not ask for it, when you just say, oh, okay, come, I forgive you, then they will do something worse to you. I believe that because it has happened to me before. I know in the Western world, it doesn't happen like that. If they fight with their mom and each person go their separate way, they've gone their separate ways until someone find their way back to apologize and beg. I know in Nigeria, I'm not sure about other African countries, if your parents offended you, you will be the one to apologize. If you offended them, you will be the one to apologize. They find it difficult to apologize for their wrongdoings. They don't, and I'm not really in support of that. I never supported it. And the funniest thing is, I think since I was growing up, my dad knew that, my mom knew that, and they never kind of forced me to do things I don't want to do in a way. Even if they forced me, I'm so strong-willed, strong-headed that I will say, no, if I'm not wrong, I'm not wrong. You are not going to force me to apologize for what I didn't do. I've been like that ever since I was young, and I always treat people with respect as well. No matter how young a child is, you can't just treat them anyhow. You can't speak to them anyhow. I've made it a point of my duty to even apologize, sometimes when I speak to my kids in a manner, maybe I was expecting something and they didn't do it the way I was expecting them to. I bring myself down to say, oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to get angry like that, but this is it, this is that. And I noticed that there is a result afterwards. So this idea of these African parents believing that yeah, it's okay, after all, you are my child. I'm not talking about trying to shape your future, punishing you. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that you say to your child that they will forever be in their heart, and when they grow to a certain age, they come out to you and say, oh mom, when I was young you said this, do you really mean it? And you still say, yes, I mean it, because you are this, because you are that. And you expect that child to just say, okay, yes, it's okay. No, that's not, you are killing their confidence. You are killing everything they live, they grow up to believe. Some parents were so terrible to their child to the extent that these children grow up and they are still, they are grown proper adults, but they are still like a child, living that life of that abuse, of that way the parent has treated them. They never move past it. And if they have the courage to now speak to these parents, and all you have to say is that you can't even say sorry for doing all of that. Seriously, I'm not cut like that. Seriously, I'm built differently, and everybody around me knows. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter. I don't care. If you are wrong, I will tell you you are wrong. It's either you take it or you leave it. And I'm not going to tell you in a very rude way. I will try and tell you in a well-mannered, well-behaved way that this thing you are doing is wrong. If my mom did something wrong, I always tell her, and she'll say, okay, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to do it this way. I'm trying to do it this way. Sometimes she will get angry, but eventually what I was telling her, she will do it. When your parents grow to some certain age, things that they are doing, but you are grown, you are exposed, you know that these things are not done right. Especially if you live in the western part of the world, you will know that no, it's not right, that your parents are still kind of abusing you in a way that this thing is affecting you emotionally, mentally, physically, and you just, because you cannot confront them, because you cannot speak to them about this, you are using this to affect someone's life. That is why a lot of men, they beat their wife, a lot of men, because they see they are trying to beat that rubbish their mother has been saying to them out of the wife. So these things, sometimes I always think that it's good as a parent to say sorry. There's nothing wrong in that. If you did anything wrong, try and cultivate the idea of saying sorry. It doesn't reduce you, it doesn't take away from you, it doesn't disturb you. And this thing I saw, there is another one I saw on Instablog Nigeria as well. This person was talking about how he was treated. A lot of people have so many stories to tell about African parents doing all these things to them. And this guy said that he left the house as soon as I think it was his mom. He said his mom said something to him and he left the house. The mom thought he's going to come back in the next maybe a day, 2 days. Maybe she's been doing it and this guy has been taking it, but he got exposed and he thought, no, this is wrong. So he left the house. The mom did not call him. He went to a family friend's house, and after 1 month, all his sisters heard about this and they spoke to the mom. Mommy, you've went too far. You shouldn't have said this to him. You shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have done that. In all of the stories, he said that church member, like people are coming to beg, but the mom never come by herself and say, okay, my son, I'm sorry. That is not what I meant. I don't mean it. This is just to find something to say, apologize to him. But the mom never apologized. And this guy said, till now, that is forgiving her, but that thing has strained their relationship and is not very close to his mom anymore. And there's nothing anybody can say. And I'm thinking to myself, just 5 words and you ruined the relationship between you and your son. Just 5 words. Sorry. Please, let's learn how to say sorry. It doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't change anything. And at the same time, this thing you are doing is one way or the other affecting your children in future. And that is the same thing, the same way they will treat other people that come in their lives. So we need to learn how to correct them in love. Say sorry when you are wrong and move on. And don't expect sorry when you are wrong. when you are the parent and you are wrong and you are still expecting your child to come and say sorry, it's cheating. You don't need to cheat them. You don't need to cheat them because you are their parent. It's just really sad. But I would like to hear your opinion or your experience with this kind of thing, especially with a lot of people coming out with their stories, how their parents has been so rude, condescending, or mean to them in a way, and they are still expecting forgiveness simply because they are like 60s, 70s, while they still did not apologize for whatever thing they've done to their children. Let's continue the discussion in the comment section below, guys. And on your way out, don't forget, give this video a thumbs up, share if you like it, and if you haven't, please hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell, because that is how you get notified whenever I upload a video. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.